Literally just finished recording the last video, which you guys saw a little bit ago, and I have not done anything else because immediately a little gift from Australia got here, and I guess this will be episode 4, is getting this installed and checking it out. Alright, so this guy actually is from Australia, Singularity Computers. This should be the front reservoir I ordered and possibly a pump cover. Now they did bubble wrap and then proceed to tape the absolute hell out of this. So it got trapped in customs. Wasn't sure when it was getting here. The whole tracking things through customs is interesting because I was getting daily updates like till it got to customs, and then they were like, yeah, your shit's in customs. And I was like, I don't know where else it would be. But here she is. There are a couple other things in here. Some stuff looked like it may have fell out of the packaging, but I don't know where else it would go. So we have some screws. We have an O-ring. I assume this is the O-ring for my pump. I assume this bag was hosting my screws and my O-ring, but no longer. So I'm gonna have to carefully inspect this O-ring before I put the pump on. Make sure that doesn't have any holes in it. That actually reminds me, holes in it. I can be a little careful here because I don't want to scratch anything that's in here. But part of doing this is I don't want to wreck anything. Unlike a lot of people or a lot of the YouTubers you see, unlike them, I do not have the money to replace a 5090 if that breaks. Let me get this shit out of the bubble wrap because the bubble wrap's like, it's too loud, you know? I'm only looking through bubble wrap in a plastic bag, but this looks legit. So I believe the one I went with actually replaces our front panel. I could be wrong, but it at least goes in there and covers a lot of it. This looks awesome. So to match my tubing, I ended up getting a frosted look. Now, frosted is only on the inside. The outside apparently is not frosted, but you have a Singularity Computers on the front and a couple of plugs. Perfect little drain guy down here right out front. That's going to be awesome, actually, because I was trying to figure out where the hell a drain was going. But if it's going to be easy enough to just pop the front off, put a little drain there. Now, the interesting thing will be, I don't think I'm putting a drain here and leaving it there. So that's interesting, but a drain's a drain. We got a fill port out top. This definitely replaces the front of my case, but that's awesome. I was trying to find a pump cover because otherwise a black pump was just, you know, it just wasn't going to fit the system. So this guy looks like it just screws off. This is metal, by the way. It's extremely nice. It is full of foam and a little RGB cable, a little black cover. I kind of wish, just a little note, as somebody who's doing a white PC, which is why I picked your silver thing, which actually, now I think about it, is going to match the RAM that I just recorded. Would be a little nice if this was also silver or whatever. But nonetheless, whatever. We got that. We got our little connector for RGB built into this guy. And the only other thing... Why does that feel like it pulls away? Oh boy. It does pull away. Huh. Hopefully that is fine. It only does it on the one side. That's not super reassuring, but it's fine. I think this will diffuse some of the light better in here, and it should match my tubing a little closer. This looks a little bit more frosted than basically my tubing, but nonetheless, it should still make it look pretty. So what we'll maybe do in this video, since last video got scrapped really poorly, let's figure out how to get this mother trucker in the case. I'm not feeling anything that's that alarming. So with that said, let us get that put in. So the little O-ring has a little ridge it slots into here, it looks like. Hopefully I wasn't supposed to put that in already, or that'll be awkward. Let's grab the pump. All right, I had kind of forgot about this until now, but if you guys remember, my pump has RGB puke coming off of it. And by that I mean, why aren't the cables covered? So I think the O-ring slot's in there. I am not gonna look at a manual, and we will just find out. That goes right on top, and then I had bought this sleeving to help us hide those cables. Now, the sleeving is a little unfortunate because obviously with the connectors on there, there's no good way to do this. I'm not taking the connectors off. So what I'm hoping to do is we'll cut our lengths here, and then we will just slice it down the side and hopefully just shove the cables in there. Hopefully this stuff wants to hold its curl pretty well, and that'll make this easy to do. I am now looking at it a little, I'm gonna have to do 2 separate ones, which kind of sucks, but let's see how this turns out. So actually, now that I'm sitting here looking at this, I need to just go look and see how this sits in the case, because depending on how this sits in there, that's gonna kind of change which way I want this pump turned to. Why are you guys moving? That's gonna change how I want this pump turned, and then I'll be able to direct the wires out the way I want to. Looking at this, there is 3 little gaps here for the wires to come out. So because this spins, we should be able to get them lined up the way we want to. I just need to know what that is to get it lined up said way. Okay, so our pump needs, got our O-ring in there. We just need our pump to come, I want the wires to come off like this, ideally. Hopefully these are long enough, guys, but hopefully they come off that way. Now what we need to do is make sure we get this lined up to go with it. It's just so weird that this little thing's just gonna screw down to kind of tighten that on. Oh no, it's gonna fall apart when I do that. So what I should maybe do, we should take and the next one I cut, maybe I'll grab a pair of scissors, because it's gonna fray at the end here, and it looks like we're gonna be able to just fray it apart, at least pretty far. So I'm gonna grab, I actually have something that would actually fit this use case. Not well, but it's going to do the job. Oh, this is gonna be fun, guys. Okay, ready? Thumbnail time. I fixed my gaming PC. People are gonna be like, what do you mean? And then I'm gonna be like, I fixed my gaming PC. I fixed it, bro. It's fixed. I'm going to heat the end here with this guy to give it a little charring. Oop, not fire. What did I do with the piece I cut? Oh, I hadn't cut it, that's right. All right, that did a lot better job than my knife. Do this in a well-ventilated area, unlike me, and also probably don't use actual fire for this. The blade on these scissors aren't straight. Remember how I said they were for sewing? So it does kind of yellow with heat, so I'm gonna have to try to be careful. And it does kind of want to sit open, so there's also that. But does it want to sit around my cables nicely? That's all you're really here for, buddy. Yikes, so this is a bad idea in general. Okay, so what I was hoping was gonna happen is this stuff was gonna much more want to keep its shape. So I was kind of hoping this would want to hold its shape a little more. And what I'm discovering is it doesn't actually want to at all. So the second I put it around these cables, it stays wide, and I don't really have it's also not quite big enough for these ones. Maybe for these guys it would be fine. So for these guys it would do a lot better, but it's not gonna work for this. So for today, I'm not gonna worry about this. Kind of sucks. I mean, this was only $5 for this. I'll probably find a different use for it, but I was really hoping it was gonna be my ticket for this. But I just, if I'm gonna go through all the effort of this white build, you know, we're not doing that. But we can get this put together for today. We're not gonna get it tested or anything, but we'll get it together. So we'll get the cable pulled through here. Perfect. I've never actually like put a pump together, so this is kind of fun. We'll get the big connectors slung through here too. Beautiful. Get it all pulled nicely. And then there's these 3 little grooves, and we'll just get it. Gosh Darn it, autofocus. Get that lined up, hopefully kind of hold it in place here. Doesn't slide on me too much. And there's that. Is that really all there is to this? I don't hear the pump sliding around, so that's something. I'm gonna pull it a little tight just because I'm so afraid of a leak. That reminds me to order, let me put that in my Amazon cart before I forget. I need to order a tester because otherwise I will forget. I will put water in here and I will find out it leaks. That'll run like that. That'll match the other cable going that way. Perfect. Let's get this baby screwed in because I'm excited. That's plenty tight on there. I'm gonna go through quickly and just make sure all these screws are tight. Quite a few of those actually moved a decent amount. Like, they were all probably tight enough. I'm not gonna say none of them were like, yeah, water's coming out of there, but it was enough to make me want to tighten up a little more. This is actually gonna really nicely match the RAM. A little upset about the black here and black here. I'll get over just a kind of tiny little bit of black. Singularity Computers is making it into the build with this beautiful looking block. Let's get these screws put in, get this thing mounted up into the case. So we've actually put more into the case in like the last 7 videos. I'm not gonna pretend that this being able to be pulled around and this side not being able to doesn't worry me a little bit. It does. That said, I don't think it affects it at all. So I'm gonna just hope that that's true. And we're gonna move on like it is for now. And if later I determine it's not, I will reach out and get a replacement. But this video will be uploaded by then, so it will be self-explanatory that that is what has occurred. Okay, putting these 4 screws on, the one here, here, and here, is really annoying, but oh, that thing, that looks nice. I love that. And then in here, we will have, oh, I'm on the floor, this view, which looks sweet. Hey, my toes. Sorry. So we'll have these wires hopefully sleeved in white right here. These will come down and then go into this little grommet over here. Be super simple, but this looks beautimous. Absolutely beautimous. We'll have our CPUs. We will have GPU doing something. We'll have the little runs up here, which now that I say that, we might want to flip this. I'm just not sure how I want to do it yet. I just think these little runs are going to be, those are going to be some runs, you know. Those are going to be difficult. So it might be easier just to run from CPU to there, to come back across. So we'll have to think about that a little bit because, yeah, getting to this, no good. I bought a filler thing, so that'll make this easier. And then the other drain port, I believe, is on the front. Actually, there's two fittings up here, so we'll be able to do all our filling from the front on the outside. So this maybe should have been tightened up before but we'll have return, exit, return, something going on there. We'll figure it out, you know? And if we don't figure it out, we don't figure it out, but we probably will. And that's just unfortunate. Yeah, this is super cool that it just replaces the front panel, sits in there. To be honest, it lines up with the edge of the case all right. The top, it seems like it's going to line up with good. And I suppose it'll just be slightly recessed on the outside here from the other thing. And I just really wish that wasn't black. Man, I thought going for an all-white build would be a little easier and then throw some blue and orange in there and have this nice look, but I'm out here struggling. With that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. That should be all we're checking out, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.